Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a vlog about PCOS awareness. And September is the month of PCOS awareness. I'm wearing the closest thing I had to the color teal. And if you don't know what that is, it's polycystic ovary syndrome. And I apologize to any of the male viewers for this video, but if you would not mind sharing this with your female friends and family members, I would greatly appreciate that. And you can continue to listen too. It's totally up to you. But I wanted to talk about my story. I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2014. I've dealt with female issues pretty much my entire adult life. I've dealt with ovarian cysts for many years, but I was never really told what I had, and I guess during that time, this wasn't really well known. But again, in 2014, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome, which the symptoms I had were obviously the ovarian cyst. I had the hormone imbalance and weight gain. And unfortunately, during that time, I had been on a couple different medications that did make me gain a lot of weight. And so when I was told that I had this and that, weight gain is one of the symptoms, that obviously did not make me feel great. But my doctor, she sent me to an endocrinologist to figure out what hormone was kind of out of whack and to kind of figure out what treatment plan I needed to be put on. And when I went to go visit this endocrinologist, she was very blunt with me. She straight out came out and said that I was too fat. I'm a pretty sensitive person, and hearing that obviously doesn't make you feel great, but she was not wrong. I will give credit where credit is due, and she definitely, needed to say something, because I did need to go on a diet. I did need to exercise. And unfortunately, during this time, I was dealing with a back injury from dance, and so I hadn't been dancing for over a year at this point. But, I was lazy. I could have been doing other things, but I just wasn't. And I know that's my own fault, so. But once I was diagnosed, they put me on metformin, and I was thinking this was going to be like the miracle drug, and I was just going to lose all the weight I had lost, all the weight I had gained, and, just get right back to normal. That is not the case. I was miserable for the first 2 months of being on this medication. It actually made me gain more weight, put my digestive system in a terrible, terrible position. And so I was miserable, but it was really helping with the hormone imbalance, and so I was grateful for that. And I was on that medication for about a year, and I will be completely honest, when I was diagnosed, I did try a different couple of diets. I tried Weight Watchers, I tried Beyond Diet, I think there was another one in there somewhere, I can't really remember, but I would lose probably about 5 to 10 pounds and then just plateau. I wouldn't be able to lose anything else besides that. And honestly, a lot of that had to do with just the exercise part of it. I wasn't being as active nearly as much as I should have. I would go on walks, I would try yoga or Pilates or something like that. But again, I wasn't dancing, which is generally how active I normally would be. So about a year of being on this medication, I actually went off of it. I was off all of my medication at this point. I was just sick of it. And honestly, my hormone, kind of stabilized, and I felt pretty okay. But I decided that I needed to try an exercise program, and so a friend of mine turned me on to T25, which is part of the Beachbody program. They're DVDs that you can do at home, and which sounded good to me because I didn't have to go out and try and impress anybody in a gym somewhere. So I did that for about 6 months, and I lost about 20 pounds. And I did the diet that came with that, which is a very protein-based diet, which definitely worked for me. And again, I'm not here to tell you, hey, try this, because I know we're all different body types, but that's my story, part of my story. So after that, that's when my life kind of changed, and I again, in my previous vlog, I mentioned that I quit my job and became a housewife, essentially, just to try and figure out what my next step was for my life. Well, since I became a homebody, essentially, I had no motivation to be active because I wasn't in front of people. I didn't have to see people day to day. So I basically became a couch potato and gained some of that weight that I had lost back. And that's my own fault. I know. But during last year, my body started to be a little bit back to normal. I shouldn't say a little bit. It actually was back to normal, and I did feel better. My back was pretty much healed. So I did start to do things here and there, just to be a little bit more active and kind of test the waters, for lack of better words. But, I wasn't really happy with, what my options were. T25 I was kind of sick of. I did some Zumba DVDs, which were a lot of fun, and I love Zumba, but it just wasn't what I was used to. And so February of this year, which I've mentioned previously, I was introduced to the Fitness Marshal, and that's what I was missing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, this is so fun, and this is what I am used to doing. And so since February, which I'll be totally honest with my numbers, when I was diagnosed with PCOS, I weighed 187.7, I'll round up. I was 188 pounds. And February of this year, before doing the Fitness Marshal, I weighed 174. And as of today, September 18th, I am 153. So I would like to say that it's working. I feel so much better, but I still have a ways to go. I have a number in my head of where I want to be at a certain point in my life. Not in the next 2 weeks or something ridiculous, but I have small goals to meet here and there, and I feel comfortable with what I am doing. I actually was talking to my husband this weekend, and we were talking about dieting, and he was like, I don't really believe in diets because to me it's a lifestyle change. It's a conscious decision to be healthier and to make better decisions of what you do with your body. And he's totally right. And so I really, really liked that, and I'm going to stick with that. And so, with my lifestyle change, I definitely kind of make sure I am conscious of what I am doing and what I am eating. And so, I would like to say that it is working. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. Again, I still have a ways to go, but I wanted to do this video because any of my PCOS sufferers, fellow PCOS sufferers, you can do it. I want to tell you that if you do put your mind to it, and honestly, half the battle is just the mental part of it. I mean, it took me a long time to finally be like, okay, I am over this, and really make a lifestyle change, and you can do it. And that's one reason why I created FitWhit, because it's, something you can do at home, and to me, it's fun. I hope it's fun for y'all too. I'm having a blast choreographing these dances, and I'm going to continue to do this for as long as my body will let me. But for, people that I know, because I do have some dear friends that suffer, and friends of friends that I know that suffer from this awful, awful disease. If the weight part is one of your biggest issues, there are ways to, handle it. And, I wanted to create a fun way for, maybe for you to be a little bit more active and, get cardio in or whatever you need. Again, I'm not here to tell you what diet to try because I don't know. But yeah, so, and my heart goes out to you if you are a PCOS sufferer, because it's awful to deal with. And I know with the infertility, which I won't go too much into that, but, and my husband and I were not at that bridge yet, but my heart does go out to those that have, obviously are in that battle. We do have some dear friends that are within that, and I can't even fathom just going through that. So, but I wanted to let you know that you're not alone, and I hope that I, am living proof that, the weight part can be managed and it can be, obviously taken care of, essentially. So I hope this was helpful for anybody. But please share this with anyone that you think may need to hear this, or, think that might, obviously feel a little bit more hopeful, I guess, with what they're dealing with. So, but thanks for listening, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.